Hi, my name is Lily Hare, and I was raised in Colfax, Washington, graduated from high school in 1977, went to Whitworth College, and graduated from there in 1981, got married right after college, and have lived here ever since. So I believe that God created women to be uniquely different than men. I believe that that we don't have to fight for feminism to prove that we are capable, that there's a certain eloquence in being feminine within the role of being a female. I think the reason that feminism exists, though, is because there were a lot of women that weren't treated fairly and that didn't get the pay and the acknowledgement, and they were not getting what they believed was right. And I think that's where the movement came from. But I also believe that I love being a woman. I think that I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I embrace that. But I understand why a lot of women have fought in a different way. I personally don't believe I need to be, I'm missing that now.
Kind of like an advocate.
An advocate for feminism, yes. So I knew pretty early on that I was planning to be a teacher. In fact, I graduated from high school heading to college at Whitworth, knowing that I was going to be a teacher. And I actually got a scholarship for that. And at the time, I thought I was going to be a music and drama teacher. So I went into secondary education. I fulfilled that in my area of study. But then once I got married, I realized that in order to do that, it was so time consuming and I'd be on the road a lot. I felt like God kind of helped me see that, yes, I'm a teacher, but I would probably do better to kind of back off a little bit. So my first year of marriage, I didn't teach. And I went back to waiting tables and really loved that. I actually waited tables all the way through college, and I put myself through school doing that. And I really have always liked the business end of things and understood that, and was thinking, maybe I would like to consider management. And so a year after I was married, I applied to Klinkerdagger Restaurant and told them in my interview that I hoped to go into management. And about 5 months later, I was. I started as a lunch manager, then I worked as a dinner manager, and I would have been a general manager by 26, except that I knew that I wasn't going to be able to give the type of commitment that it took to do that. And I was already working 60 plus hours a week, and I thought it's time for me to move into something where I get to be home with my husband more. And as much as I love the industry, it was just too much time. So then I went to Nordstrom and worked in management there. And then I went back and got my elementary endorsement and taught for about 4 years. And then I had my third child, who's the same age as Jeremy, and stayed home from teaching, but went back to waiting tables again. And then I, for about 4 years, taught and waited tables. And now I've actually retired from teaching, and I wait tables at the same restaurant. So I actually have about 20 years there. And the biggest thing for me is the people. I've always wanted to make a difference with people, and that's where the teaching piece fit. But also right now, timing wise, it just is too much of a commitment because I'm a recent grandma, and we caregive for my mother-in-law whose health is not very good. Probably the most significant was when I was the restaurant manager. I was the only female manager in the front of the house or in the back of the house. That means with the chefs and with the front of the house. And I started at a lower salary rate and was given increments based on my beginning salary. And fairly soon after I was hired, they hired a man, and I found out within about a year that he was making thousands more than I was. And I was not happy about that because I was actually working more hours and had more responsibility. And so I eventually confronted my management, my general manager, and got a lot more compensation. At first they kind of were hesitant, and then I just explained what I was doing and that I felt very confident that I deserved to have that salary. But it took a lot of gumption on my part to present that, and it also made me anxious because I didn't feel like that was fair. I think that women worked outside of the home in my mom's generation for sure. It's interesting, I've flipped back and forth. I've been married almost 36 years, and I have children that are 28, 24, and 21. I I think there's an interesting element in that back probably my parents' generation and a little bit further, it was kind of expected that women did stay home. And if they worked outside of the home, it was because there just wasn't any possible way that they, like a single parent, or that just financially they couldn't stay home. And then there was a swing the other way where everybody wanted to work, and there was like that difference of whether or not it was okay or not. Now I'm seeing more women doing the balance, which is what I feel like I like with my kids, is working part-time and then being able to be home enough with the kids that you felt like you were a major part of raising them. And I feel like that is kind of the more accepted role, but I think it kind of changes within where you live and what age group you're in too. So this isn't exactly the answer totally. One of my things, I believe that our country in general hasn't embraced the family enough, and so that's really changed the roles of women, but also the role of our families, and I think our kids. If there were one thing I want to change, it would be that the family units would be stronger, and that parents would model what it is to be a woman that grows up, that can be very capable, that can do virtually anything that a man does, but that they would also embrace loving each other, spending time, being committed in their marriages, raising kids that know that they're confident and capable. I think a lot of what is going on in our society right now is a result of the breakdown of the family. But I also would love for any person, male, female, and any race, could just know that they are all able to do whatever it is they feel called to do, or that God is calling them to do, but that they are also allowed to make the choice to be a stay-at-home mom if they want to be, or to do roles that typically were kind of the roles. Like when I was going to school, there weren't physical therapists and a lot of the medical roles that are out there now. It was like you could be a nurse or a teacher, or it just seemed like pretty limited jobs. And now I feel like women can go into any job, but I would like them to also feel like they don't have to work and be in a job if they want to make the role of being more at home.